through still being around, he has displayed insane mental fortitude, and he's accumulated a lot of experience, not just in the jungle position, but even in the other roles as well. So he should be able to have even more foresight when it comes down to spotting those opportunities.
Okay, so experience, Albert.
For sure.
What does Niall have?
I guess unpredictability,
Okay.
right? That is going to be, again, it's a flip coin, but if it's Bigetron's day, they can definitely take that trait to their advantage.
Okay. So we talked about both junglers, and of course, the hallmark and the anchors of both teams. It could also circle back to their gold laners. And earlier on, I think Eman was second team gold laner. I don't think he won first team. I think he was second team gold laner. So that's something that he has under his belt this season. And this is the battle of the crazy gold laners. What do you think about these two, and how do they differ with one another?
Man, I feel like Eman definitely has a bit more consistency there, but when you talk about insane plays, when we talk about the crazy gold laners, I feel like Erlan actually shows up before Eman if you put that into a search engine. You know, because this guy, for better or worse, has been more bold in attempting crazy plays, and that can work against them too, though. So I think EVOs need to have some really solid shot calling, because when you leave Erlan to his own devices, it really is a coin flip.
He just shows up out of nowhere sometimes, though. What about you? Do you agree?
I feel like this season specifically, especially with the form that EVOS is in, I gotta go with Erlan, man. Eman, respectable, but Erlan seems to just be...
Meta really favors the Claudes, the Harrods, but on the off chance they want to try something crazy, I mean, Eman can still come through and deliver. You know, that's the extra wild card that Bigetron can deploy. This guy has been performing well in every single, change of the meta. Whereas for Erlan, when the meta shifts a bit further away from this late game hyper carry style, he dips just a little bit.
Yeah, if you want to narrow it down, I think the Freya needs to be respected. I think one of the heroes that defeated Onyx back in the regular season, especially in the first leg, was Eman on the Freya. And I think that's going to be still the highlight, right, of this series. I think EVOs, they need to understand that Eman is a big issue for their team. They got to just respect the threats, like the power picks from Eman. And thus, Freya is going to be another highlight. And again, same question, right? EXP laners, will the Paquito be a highlight? Will it be a hot pick here for the series?
What do you think, Arashi? I mean, we saw from match number 1 that it was a very hot commodity, right? We saw it either being, no, not even banned out. It was always picked up in our first match.
Exactly, especially with, if you look at the EXP laners of both teams playing right now, they like going for that aggressive style, and they know how to play with the split push angle as well. So I feel like both teams can put it to really good use, especially for Luke, though, who likes to flank around. That could actually be, like we discussed, a bit of a replacement for the Masha to combo with the chip as well.
Yeah, burst damage, you can play macro. We saw what GEEK Fam was able to do with it earlier on. So it's interesting. If we had to talk about macro plays, which was something that we did see highlighted back in game number 3 between GEEK Fam and DEWA Who do you think has the better macro here? Are we talking BTR or are we talking about EVOS?
Oh, I gotta say, when it comes down to like macro, as in creative strats, something more akin to what GEEK Fam did in match number 1, I feel like Bigetron, dude, they know how to play it slow, look for crazy flanks, crazy big moments, right? Whereas for EVOS, I feel like they're a bit more straightforward. They can be disciplined, but I feel like they can't really play with a lot of those mind games.
Interesting opinion. Goni, do you think EVOS or BTR in macro?
You know what? I think it's still Bigetron for this season. Yeah, I think, again, the Maestro, you know, Moreno, sure, mechanically he is gifted and can find a lot of outplays, but again, the macro, right? If we're talking about the macro, he is just able to control the mid lane so well, and thus it makes a lot of space for the team as well. And we will see in this series, will it be evident or not?
Yeah, because I'm of a different opinion.
Oh, okay. You're
I
more
think
of an
EVOS have the better macro. I think outplay potential, I agree. BTR has it because of their individual mechanics and their skill, the skill ceiling. But when it comes down to late game, lord dances, the way that they play the map, the flanking, I think we've seen a lot of games fall into the hands of EVOS because they have it above the rest of, you know, the MPL ID teams.
Interesting. The late game clutch factor.
Yes.
I guess. Then again, though, not a lot of teams have been able to take games as late as EVOS has. You know, there have been so many games in the season so far that where they were losing and they were able to defend for so long that they take it to the late game, the 70-second death timers. So maybe when the other teams get pushed that far, they might perform the same way. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Who knows? Who
we'll
knows?
see, we'll see. I mean, Goni mentioned it earlier. We will see whether or not all that unfolds, who will be better in the late game. And I really do hope that we do get late game games because our first 2 games was only 14 minutes. We finally got a 20-minute plus game in that third one. And like everyone keeps mentioning, this seems to be the play-in match that will be a lot closer, right? Hopefully we'll get a 3-2 maybe for this next match.
I hope so.
And I hope it's going to be all like game 3 between EVOS and DEWA.
Rashi, do you
GEEK and
not
DEWA.
concur?
How could I have any other opinion, man? Of course I concur. Because again, people think that this is going to be a very telling one, and whoever goes past this stage is going to do really, really well.
Yeah.
Whether that's EVOS or Bigetron, which is rare. Because sometimes you already know there's a favorite and there's an underdog, but this is a real toss-up.
And here's the thing, fun fact, right? Albert and Niall, both of them are ex-Onyx players, and either or, here, okay, let me finish.
What is man on about?
Either or, the winners will face against Onyx as well.
You're right. Okay.
So that's the you know, that's a circle. That's a full circle.
The circle of life.
But I really do want to show our appreciation to all the viewers who made it to the Velodrome because
It's packed.
it's a lot more packed than what we saw from match number 1. So W EVOS fans and W Bigot Troopers, right? Because
I mean,
it's
Mirko's
filled
in
to
the building.
brink. Especially for the side of EVOS. On our level, like right behind us, it's super full. Up top, it's super full. I think we're just waiting for, I think, more EVOS fans that are walking in the building right now. So, man, I miss this. This is what I miss from, you know, the playoffs, the vibes, because we didn't really get it last season, I believe. Maybe because it was a little bit too far, but it's amazing. And oh, it's Mirko! Let's hear what the Bigot Troopers have to say.
Bigot Troopers, mana suaranya?
There we go. The venue erupts. But it looks like on the other side we have the EVOS fans.
It's Cornet.
Oke, siap ya bareng-bareng ya, EVOS Roar ya. Woi, gua bilang EVOS, kalian bilang Roar ya. 1, 2, 3, EVOS! Iya!
Wow. And there you have it. Goosebumps all over right now with the energy coming in from the EVOS fans. I hope Miracle comes back on time. Like, I hope he's not late. Because he has to be ready. Because it looks like both teams are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, our final elimination match in the play-ins. We're gonna welcome both teams up on stage, starting with the ones in blue.
The Tigers will be tested yet again. A slot to the upper brackets is the target. Arlon, he needs to step up against the gold laner from Philippines. Will Albert and friends bring glory back to the name of the mighty White Tigers? Luke and Albert stepping onto the stage. The newly addition Luke has been performing out of his mind in the regular season. Question is, what about playoffs? Ladies and gentlemen, this is EVOS!
They've had their own Cinderella run right here in this venue. They have gathered and mustered all of their resources to make it here for this moment, but they're not done just yet. They're looking even further. They're waiting for a chance to prove that they are the Tigers. They are hungry for battle and they're hungry for victory.
With so much history behind them, with everything hanging in the balance, people are reminiscing back to M1. Can they find that former form and that former glory up against the ones in red?
Initializing. Program to
A shaky form in the middle of the regular season does not stop the Red Robots. They bounce back, looking to erupt the Velodrome stage. The Maestro of Moreno. Will he be able to create another masterpiece in the playoff stage? Amon, the guy that is the backbone of this team. Will he deliver yet again? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you. This is Bigetron by Vitality.
They have gone through a multitude of changes since they got to the grand finals in MPL ID Season 7. They have gotten close so many times, but despite regular season success, the playoffs have always spelled their doom. Now many people are on the opinion that if they get through EVOS, they will make it all the way to the grand final. This season, they themselves have stated that they have been playing with the ultimate goal of playoff success in mind. Well, they have talked the talk. It's time for them to walk the walk.
And walk the walk they shall. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a team, the only team who's been able to take down the ones up top, Onyx back to back. Imagine that, leg 1, leg 2, only BTR has Onyx Kryptonite, has Onyx code. And the question is, will they also have the code of the White Tigers? Because once again, only one team can walk away from this, and only one team will be able to make it out alive and continue their playoff journey. And of course, it all starts with the drafts and the masterminds. Now, Arashi, getting into the drafts, what do we need to look out for in terms of maybe picks or signature heroes?
Oh man, I feel like again, if match 1 was any indication, the mid lane, despite how you want to talk about the Paquitos, how you want to talk about the Claudes and the Harriets, the mid lane and roam combo is so important. We just talked about how both teams are so evenly matched in the macro department. Having the pressure in the lane to begin the assault, to begin the attack is going to be so important, and it will be contested for both teams.
So what are we talking about? Are we thinking Jushin?
Jushin's,
Yeah.
Khalid's, Cho's. I'm completely expecting these roamers can help with the wave clear as well.
And also, let's not forget what Chip did in the previous series. We might see that from King. You know, he played a couple of Chip plays as well. You know, we might see that here in this series. And after seeing the blueprint of the surprise attack Chip shortcut, you know, Key might have a tendency to replicate that sort of gameplay.
Don't forget, there was a time where, in a way, EVOS, we talk about experience being on their side for Albert, but technically for Key, the same thing, man. This guy has been around for a while. He pulled up a Baksha roam to great success, and that's something that Bigetron have to be careful about, the flex potential and how they can find ways to utilize these heroes that really shouldn't have any business doing well in the current meta.
And by the way, sorry, going back to your note about the Jushin, we do see that the Jushin is actually on the topmost picks from both teams. So it truly is going to be a battle of contest of the Jushin, or do you think it might just be banned in the first phase?
Ooh.
Could that be possible? But also, big respects to the EVOS fams. This is what they did last time in the Velodrome too.
Yep.
Is it the same banner?
I
Or is
believe
it a
it's-
different one?
I feel like
It
it's
should be not the same.
yeah, it looks a bit different, but
Looks
this
a
is
bit
exactly what Realize was talking about. You know, shout out to the guy. He was very impressed that the EVOS fans can bring in so much spirit here, brings the banner, and really, they almost outdo the opposition support-wise.
Bro, that is a huge banner. What is that, like? Could it be like 15 meters? 15 by 15?
It's about seven rows of people's worth of length.
I'm not good at
So
math,
they're
but
huge.
that's a big
visible
leg.
scale.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Player
well,
head-to-head.
I mean, this is what you're good at, right? Like, you're good with the player head-to-head.
Well, sort of. We already discussed the gold lane matchup at length. Again, this depends on what kind of Erlan is going to show up here, because Eman is going to be Eman. He's always been Eman, right? But for Erlan, it's a whole different situation. Here's the victory here by the Infinix GD50 Pro. For Bigetron, though, give Nile, an assassin hero, to be the main carry. Let him perform on that, so get the right tools to help him out with the pressure, with the setups as well, and maximize the macro play to pressure EVOs during the objective contest. When they do get that pressure, when they do have the good tools for setting up a neutral objectives, they've been able to do really, really well, right? They know when to move forward and backwards in that Lord dance. They can try and abuse how EVOs have been looking a bit shaky in those situations.
Yeah, I think it depends on the composition later on. But for EVOS, we got to talk about the keys to victory. Minimize an overhype when, you know, in a winning position. They tend to do this sort of stuff in the regular season, which again, discipline, right, needs to be underlined bold and italic here for EVOS. And let's see here, for our opening game in this series, we will get to see BTR taking the blue side.
Yeah, we saw the second keys to victory about reducing experimentation as well. What kind of experimentation are they talking about?
Oh, I don't know, switching out your mid laner late in the season maybe? That was something that caught everyone off guard. It worked out. They still did well with that substitution, but I'm not sure they want to be as bold with those maneuvers in the playoffs here. And that goes for the other heroes as well. They have signature heroes already that they know they can do well in. There isn't really any need so far to really venture out too far out of that rule, that area almost.
And now it officially begins. The timer is out. And we're gonna see the first map in our first game in this best of 5 series. And it's
Wow.
gonna be Broken Walls.
Is this the 4th Broken Walls of the day?
We've been seeing a lot of Broken Walls today. Let's see if it pays dividends to BTR or EVOS in this first game, considering we're heading into the drafts presented to you by the official gaming phone Infinix GT50 Pro. And like you mentioned the chip earlier on. The chip gets banned instantly here by BTR, so they're not going to allow Key to utilize it this time around. Fredrin gets banned out, Phobius gets banned out, and it looks like the White Tigers are going to be respecting the Fanny as well as that Freya.
Yeah, again, the Zushin is still on the board.
Yep.
We talked about it here in EVOS. They're discussing. They have decided that we will let go of that Zushin. We're worried more about the Baksha. It's more flexible, it's more tanky, durable, and let's see. Bigetron by Vitality, will they give the Maestro the Zushin?
I don't see a reason not to. These bands, though, you can't help but feel like there is some scrim knowledge motivating some of these bands because the person already banned out the Baksha, you know. I didn't really expecting a first pick Baksha from Bigetron. That was certainly a bit, a bit interesting. The Marcel, though, we haven't seen too frequently in the recent times. It can be countered, though. And Paquito Tsushin comes in for EVOs. I mean, so far, that seems like a bit of a win for EVOs.
I think they know that the Baxia is huge flex for BTR, right? Because we've seen it in the roaming position for Finn, and we've also seen it in the jungler position. So maybe that's why they opted to go for the ban on the Baxia in the first phase. And you guys mentioned about, mid-trio prio. EVOs have secured some of their own. But of course, we saw the Paquito being a little lackluster against the Phobius, and that's why I think BTR are in a unique position. How do they counter this Paquito?
Well, it seems like they will lock into Alice and the Claude here in the first phase. So, speaking of mid-trio, seems like they only picked up the roamer, right? They neglected the mid, they neglected the jungler as well, delaying it at least. So they have prepared something at least.
Exactly.
It will be targeted by EVOs later on. Now, Red 3, this is going to be very interesting. EVOs, they can lock in a jungler themselves here, having that advantage to dictate that rotation. But instead, they lock in the roam, right? So it's more rotation, it's more mobility. It duets well with the Zushin as well.
The Khalid Zushin, man, when we talk about mid-trio, that's been the go-to combination. And now they're squeezing down on the mid lane options here for Bigetron. The Valentina is a bit of a signature pick for the Maestro Moreno. But considering that they are willing to leave it for the second phase of the drafting phase, I feel like they have something of a surprise. And it has to be something that works well with the Golden Hour, right? Because otherwise this Marcel pick also loses some value.
So what's the answer to that? We've seen the Marcel Gord become a combo at some point in the regular season, but we haven't seen Gord as much as we got further and further in to like week 9, week 8.
The Gord is a solid pick if you want to win in the wave tier department, by the way. Against the Sushin, it's still going to be okay, but it depends on the roamer. Marcel Gord against Khalid Sushin, it still doesn't win out. So I don't think that's a valid option for Bigetron right now. Unless they want to play without mid-prio, but that's a Valir ban from EVOs. Probably trying to stop any kind of pushback. This might be a full-on dive comp that EVOs are eyeing out.
Yeah, I think they're going for that angle, right? Going for a composition that will dive and likes to dive hard. Hence the Valir ban. Bigetron by Vitality, they can definitely lock in another jungler ban, but they're gonna suffer later on, limiting their own potential on Nile. Now, remember the keys to victory. Nile given an assassin. I don't see an angle against this sort of composition to have an advantage with an assassin like pickup, but let's see Harley. So they will commit to another jungler ban.
Wow. So Bigetron themselves opting to ban another jungler? Suyo comes in close.
Nasty mid-trio, I gotta say.
Back then, at least, the matchup was the Joy, but we haven't really seen the Joy being too popular in this region, so there must be some other option here for Bigetron.
What's the answer to that? We mentioned, do you think Kadira could pop up here? Lilia is a safer option. Zetian.
I don't mind the Lilia, but before level 4, the Lilia is just a big target for Suyo and Khalid to target, so...
I guess she fast clear though, right? The Lilia?
In a way, yes. I think the Zetian is a more rounded option though. Leo Mord and the Gord still.
The Gord Marcel combo.
Not a lot of setup though here. It's just a Mystic Projectile and I guess the Throne of Ruin. Both of which are very telegraphed, so EVOs can really play around it.
You mentioned the Gord earlier as well, right? The combo, it will be popped off, though the position needs to be aware of, because the Paquito can definitely flank, at least force the spell out of you. That's already a win for the Paquito. Now, the lock in the final answer.
Gold laner.
I think Harith,
Harith makes a lot of sense here.
they need burst. They need someone that can engage as well, and Harith Loki fits the bill. And there you go, they have locked in the 10 heroes that will be deployed to the Land of Dawn.
It's the
man.
beginning of the end for one of these teams, and to break things out, to witness everything that will unfold, we're going to throw it over to our casters.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, on to our second match here. Another one will bite the dust between EVOS versus BTR. A nightmare of a building for BTR fans here. A lot of bad memories here, Mirko.
It's always bad memories, but patterns are meant to be broken. I learned that from a fellow GEEK Fam fan.
Definitely not me. But EVOS versus BTR, they drafted quite a composition here. Still not much risk taken or a lot of crazy picks so far from each teams. Still want to play it a bit more standardly here. Just gonna feel out the whole series first before they want to go for the throat. But now, we are here. Jakarta International Velodrome will be another witness to the second team that will be eliminated from the contention of the MSC ticket. Welcome to the Land of Dawn.
It's the battle for Paris. Who wants it more? The Red Robots or the White Tigers? Man, I was just sitting in the middle of the Bigetron fans, in the middle of the EVOS fans as well, and the atmosphere here for this second match is fantastic.
Yeah. EVOS fans definitely lost this building. Recorded one of the most electric crowd that this building has ever seen. Vindo just a drive-by smother, I would say, but Shogun just with some pokes. So far, not much happening. Both teams are getting their camps.
Yep.
But EVOS has been a bit more aggressive so far.
It's a pretty good take at the start of the game here for the Suyo. We know the Suyo and the Leomord matchup, they kind of forced it onto Bigetron. Not a lot of other junglers left open that could deal damage, and that's kind of the thing for Nile. We saw in the Keys to Victory as well. You need to put Nile on a damage-dealing pick. That's where he's the most clutch.
Yep.
And another point as to how he's the most clutch is usually when he's up against top teams. And let me tell you, I don't think there's a single team worse than BTR in the playoffs.
But does it outweigh the debuff of that playoff, though? We'll see here.
That's true.
On the mid lane again, both teams are just gonna feel out each other just a second here, and it's mostly just gonna be a non-lane for both lane as well. It's a Harith against a Claw. They want to just get their farms. The bottom lane as well. I don't think Shogun wants to trade damage with his Paquito early in this game. As Nile.
Oh, great kick by Luke. Stops level 4 away from Nile, and it gets him to level 4. But he's gonna be caught by the sun. Moreno goes into the mid lane, from the mid lane to the XP rather. Nile secures the XP crap, but Moreno is level 2. This is problematic.
Yeah, look at where Albert is right now, though. This is the EVOS way to victory. They know how to do this, but now look at that. First pick of the game.
Big fan of Steed into an all-in from Finn. Great neutral objective control so far, but like you mentioned, Albert straight into the enemy jungle. He can still contest for this. Moreno's trying to go for the zone. That's the retreat. Albert gonna be caught. That's gonna be thrown in a ruin. Oh, it still catches him despite all of it. A flicker in from Shogun and the Mystic Gush from Moreno. Takes him out, but now it's gonna be Nile. Caught in the midst of it all. Great golden hour to put them in a pop spot, and that's a double Mystic Projectile. Iman dives in with a blazing duet. Finds a kill, and it's a pure disengage. But Luke walks up, now with a knockout strike as well. He goes straight into Nile. This is gonna be the rest of the team to try to help him out. Luke can try to go in. Not enough damage from the rest of the BTR boys, but now the Steed comes back around, and Nile gets on the horse, the Mystic Projectile
bad.
by the Maestro.
A glimpse of the brilliancy of BTR. When things are clicking, they are the best team in Indonesia.
That is not glazed, that is valid, I think.
And Albert went for the very risky play there. And I understand that he trusts his skill set, the resources that he has to be able to get him out of the trouble, even if he didn't get the total. But BTR with a great punish.
Just want to say, this is why Arashi's my boy. Just want to say.
Oh, okay, I just realized that.
Yeah, realize it in here, but we probably quote Bigetron too.
Hey,
Oh, down below, they really don't like their ex-teammate Luke's getting tanked over and over and over again. Shogun tanking a turret. It's another kill over to Nile.
yeah, it seems like this is the theme for current the current meta, just pummel down on the XP lane, make them lose as much advantage as possible in the early game. And against a Paquito, it's always will give you a lot of benefits. 3 kills already towards Luke. That's not good at all.
Yep. But it's just slow. Again, we have to remember that EVOS are known to play this style. They're very slow at the start of the game. They get going in the mid game, and then they pop off in late. It's been their style of play for the last 3 matches in the regular season, and it seems like it's going on and it's continuing to the playoffs here.
Yeah, unfortunately though, Albert cannot counter jungle from now on. The orange buff has already been taken, so like it or not, he has to test this or take his own purple buff, which is just kind of a waiting move for EVOS.
The poke onto Luke, who is still, despite all those ganks, even in levels compared to Shogun. Impressive. Come on. Caught there. A lot of damage placed onto him. Wait a minute. But they go in on Luke again. They find the moment. And it's a killing spree through the Mystic Gush. Shogun has the Throne of Ruin. It's going to do a lot of zoning. That's going to be the pre-neutral objective over Erlan. And already flickered in. Now it's a mile with Blazing Duet to the back line. And they burst through Erlan. The forgotten Tiger. Forgotten no longer by the Red Robots.
Too good to be true. A dreamlike start for BTR in this first 5 minutes. They get everything. 2K gold lead. And Albert, despite him on a Suyo, usually you see him securing a 2-level lead from in this point, but now he's equal with Nile.
This might be Glaze again, but last time Finn played the Marcel, it was up against Na'Vi, if you remember. It was a comeback game as well. Game 1, it was fantastic. Game 2, Na'Vi came back. But in those 2 games, I saw Finn as maybe one of the best Marcel players we have in ID right now. He's so clean with it. The golden hours are perfectly timed. And mainly that screening of his is fantastic. Finn doing it again here, zoning so many members away from the structures. And Amon's just going to collect a free structure down below. No trades going on for EVOS.
Yeah, definitely not Glaze, definitely not bias caster here on the desk.
That's my goat.
But the itemization though from Shogun, he went on for a full physical defense build here. Warrior boots towards the Dreadnought armor. I like that a lot, especially if he wants to lane against Paquito. And most likely the one that's gonna rotate down below earlier is gonna be the Khalid and also the Suyo. So that solves 3 block problems at once.
That was just crazy though, right? The fact that Bigetron are kind of playing EVOS' game. Remember, I think it was EVOS against Na'Vi, or sorry, EVOS against TLID, where we saw Luke jump in, forcing 3 members back, and then it was Albert who took the turtle. It was just these small distractions to go for a pickoff or for a neutral objective. But in this game, it's Bigetron who's doing that to EVOS.
There's also another problem that EVOS needs to solve. That is the lack of shred for Shogun. It's gonna be hard to get him down to 0 HP with his Harith if he does not have that penetration item just yet. It was not a problem in the GEEK Fam match because they were up by a bajillion gold, but now EVOS, I don't think they can play it slow from this point. 3K gold, they
Luke! God. Luke caught in the bad spot again. Finn might actually want to go for a 1v1, but he'll let Luke recall. Now caught in the miss of it all. It's going to be the damage coming through in the red tree. Oh, Loretto! Actually stolen away! Erlan caught in the blaze into wet. Finn again with the golden hour. Catches Fume as Finn walks up and Moreno gets a Sky Piercer stack on the gourd. Shogun in the back, zoning Few away. Now the rest of the team trying to collapse right there as the Pure Bite gets used up and the Mystic Projectile gets thrown, but it does not land on anybody. Finn backs away, just gives some space to Shogun to escape.
Yeah, 1-1 on the kill count, but objective was taken by BTR once again, so they definitely won't take that any day of the week as Emon secured his second item on towards the second Trinity build. All that's left is that corrosive side, and he gets the outer tier turret. So far, BTR has been getting everything left, right, and center.
They've been phenomenal, but we have to remember again, it's never really safe for Bigetron. Even with a 10,000 gold lead, there's something they're very known to do.
Especially in the playoffs, you cannot spell comeback stronger without BTR.
MT, try next season. Basically all the Arsenal quotes you can use to Bigetron too.
It's kind of... Alright. It's his fault, Johnny. It's not mine. Yeah. Looking at the kill count here, EVOS didn't really have a good time, especially with the fact that they are running this very early game-centric kind of composition here in Mirko. The Jushin, the Khalid, it's gonna still be a difference maker in the late game, but mostly they deal most of their damage in the early game.
Yeah, we're gonna dive again into the pack Few, forced to use the Crimson Beacon defensively. And it's yet another free structure to the hands of the Red Robots, who are playing with such poise. Which is weird.
Really is. EVOS, if they... I don't know if they want to they even can play with boys at this point. Because BTR so far, they're bringing the fight towards EVOS. Like it or not, they gotta take it. But at this time of the day, you gotta wait for Airlock to pop up, no? You gotta wait for the item to stack up. Thankfully though, he can already spam his Chrono Dash and his Saman Force.
And we
With
have
that
to
item.
Oh, projectile. Oh, the Steed as well. Are they gonna go for the dive? Key's gonna get dove on. Finn's caught in the bad spot. Has to flicker away, but Airlock's right there. And
Oh my lord!
Locks him down for the blazing duet. Niall caught, thrown back into a golden hour. Finn catches him. The Mystic Projectile is gonna land together with Shogun. He's waiting in the back. Luke's gonna be looking for a play as well. That's Shogun thrown away. That's gonna be Luke walking up. The Mystic Projectile lands again as Shogun will be taken out under turret. Luke finally showing signs of life.
Yeah, they find the loophole to kill the Alice. Well, you know, if you do not have the shred, you can still use the turret aggro. And what a chain CC coming in from Luke. Still not the greatest of game so far. 2-4-0 in a KDA as he secured the Queen's Wings here. So you know that at this point, he is worried about his own safety instead of just going for a full glass cannon build. But now EVOS wants to blitz this.
Yep,
Just hold on.
Very good decision. Shogun's still down. They're gonna have to go for the gamble right now as Niall gets on the Steed. Luke trying to go zone him away. And Mon has to flicker away now. And that should be free Albert with a Soul Sever and the Retribution. Now he's gonna be the all-out fight as Finn tries to go for the big fight, but Niall's gonna be thrown back again by View. And he's gonna get taken out by Airlock.
Oh my goodness. There were some questions about EVOS' playstyle coming to the playoffs. Are they too safe? Are they not risk takers? There you go.
That's why.
This is the risk-taking EVOS that we've been waiting for in the playoffs.
What a fantastic decision. No hesitation from EVOS. Shogun was down, the death timers were staggered, and they took the chance. They pulled the trigger, and now they have the Lord. 2 charges. One in the mid lane, tier 1, another into the tier 2. But look at how they manage the waves in the bottom lane and the top lane. The gold lead is completely gone, but one thing that stays true is the fact that Luke is still caught alone. Iman gets caught right there. He pops in the blazing wind in time, and throwing her wind catches him, and now he's getting all in. As Iman is still able to survive, but Albert takes him out. Airlines Iman force. He's going back and forth right now over on Finn. The golden hour's right there. Airlines is going for that. There more damage over on Shogun, and that's the Sky Piercer as Niall dies as well. Albert is back.
And just like that, the pendulum swings towards EVOS' favor. They're hotter than a fish grease right now.
The classic Biggie choke begins to happen, and Erlan's the one who capitalizes. And man, did you see that positioning? He was trying to walk up, trying to chase Luke. He backs away to the BMI, but Key, it's almost like he was teammates with this man. He knows his tendencies. He was just waiting on
Just
that BMI.
almost, not really teammates.
Key and Iman?
Yeah. Now I'm just joking.
Yeah.
900 goal lead for EVOS right now, going into the 13th minute. As the Lord about this one in about 2 minutes. EVOS having full control of the map here, especially with this Paquito, man.
Yep.
You can see the previous match how much this Paquito brings to the table in the late game. The damage is there, but the long lane presence is incredibly annoying, even without the chip.
One thing that's still all right for Bigetron is the fact that Moreno hasn't died. He has kept all of his Sky Piercer stacks, so those executions can still be very, very deadly. The thing is, do they have enough damage to get Erlan low? That's the question. To get Paquito low. Luke and Erlan. Once we get into that mid-game power spike, which it definitely hit, gold lead's completely gone, and now it's building towards a 2K for EVOS. Erlan's going to have 1 billion shields. Yeah. Luke has the Queen's Wings, and you know that damage reduction from the patch.
Yeah, thankfully though, Airline, he's on a Harith, so any kind of CC, especially immobilization, it's pretty much the same thing as a stun. You know, you can't really stack up your shield when Zaman Force is there. Thankfully, the Throne of Ruin is just like the perfect counter towards a Harith. And with the anti-heal as well, surely that's gonna be trouble for Airline from now on. But he's also gonna be building his items, so at the same time, EVOS is getting deadlier and deadlier. The claws are getting sharper than ever. And this is the hero that brought them the M1 Championship. Can it bring a victory here in Jakarta International Velodrome?
That's the thing about EVOS, man. Their mid to late is just so scary. It's almost like they start the game as Cubs, and then they continue to grow to these the monsters they are. And look,
yeah, and this is their jungle right now. BTR is doing what EVOS are doing. That's the previous exchange, but I don't know about this decision, bro.
That's showing the bottom lane is going to be massive. They're going to go all in onto Few. That's giving the key with Reggie Sandstorm. Iman on the blade, blazing duet. Flickers in, throwing a ruin as well. Airlock caught by Moreno. Now doing a good job chasing Few down. Albert's waiting in the midst of it all as the golden hour lands on Luke, and that's the projectile again who catches Albert. Finn doing a good job. Shogun with the chase. Moreno with the jump in forward, but the baby alien stays alive, but now he goes away. And he's looking for the outplay. The baby alien takes him down. The stacks on Moreno is down, but now it's Niall going into the mid lane. He goes over to chase instead onto Luke. Mid lane turret is going to be taken down by the minion waves, it seems, as Eman and Niall secures the Lord.
Both teams are taking risk so well. They know what's at stake.
Uh-oh.
And this time around, BTR execute that one much, much better than EVOS. And on cue, Miracle, that Throne of Ruin was so big against Harith, but now Luke's gonna get chased down by the horsey.
Yeah.
But he's still all fine and dandy.
Only an MLBB does a boxer run faster than a horse.
That is a good point.
It's okay though. You gotta get that fleet footwork, you know, as a boxer.
By the way, Moreno finally getting taken down. So Skypiercer stacks are reset by 30%. So EVOS from now on, they can play a bit more aggressively, but I don't know if that's what they want to do against this much tankiness from BTR.
Now we have to talk about the wave clear. EVOS, the Paquito does really well, but it's gonna be very easy to catch. They still have waves, and they're actually managing the waves quite well here. The mid and the bottom lane, but as I said, the Paquito, if he's left alone, he can clear that wave forever. They're gonna try to go for the far lane instead, but they have to pay attention to Luke, who's still pushing in. He decides to recall, but all 5 show up. Luke, does he cancel the recalls? The Lord charges into the base. Luke's gonna go for the base turret up top. It's gonna be a trade. This is a very risky gamble to take, but he's taking it well. The turret will not fall, but just in case BTR decide to make the call to walk in, EVOS could have gone a favorable, or not really favorable, but an even trade.
Love that from BTR. They're not taking any risk in that exchange earlier. Very disciplined. Just like what Beloski did in, I believe, the 3rd match with the chip, right? As long as the Lord hits the inhibitor turret, then it's all good. You get the turret, you back away, and now the long lane is yours. But the Paquito is going to tip the scales here, Miracle, once again.
That's the thing. This time it's going to be a lot more difficult for the Paquito, though. These are super minions that'll be clumping up in the bottom lane, and BTR will have way more to say. Because earlier I thought in that Lord fight, it should have been EVOS with the advantage. They were pushing in bot, they could have played the slow game. BTR forced the fight, and yet again, they are going to try to force this slow push to build towards EVOS. They do not want Luke to clear it out.
Yeah. By the way, I love the itemization coming in from Shogun with the Ice Queen wand. Not really something I usually see from an Alice, but in this case, they know who's the carry. Moreno has been popping off with this gourd, and he's going up for a full damage build here with a single utility and that glowing one. So he is very much topped up. All that's left is to execute for this gourd.
17 seconds for the Lord to spawn.
By the way, the photo as well from Finn, so more survivability from the backliners of BTR. We've been questioning why the gourd has not been so prevalent in other MPLs, and that is, the dives are scary.
Look at this, wait. Eman might check into the wrong bush. When you say, Eman! With a read of a century, what a reaction! BMI's out of there, doesn't even burn his flicker, and because of that, he will fall.
Inhuman reaction time from Eman. I don't know if that was a reaction time, or it's just instinct to happen. I'm not sure, but either way, they'll take that.
That's why we call him the Red Raider, man.
Robotic, if you will.
Finn, trying to zone in the back, and Man jumps in again, doing so much damage. Taking Few to half HP. Finn caught, golden hour plays down, and now the missing projectile is going to be timed as well with the Mystic Gush over on Erlon. The sun comes around, the purifies right there, but Man again goes over the blazing wind, even the flicker, even onto the baby alien. Luke will try to survive. That's Moreno, the maestro, caught in the tough spot. Throws out the missing projectile, but Luke's able to take him down. But now it's him with the flicker around as Eman goes over to chase, and the Lord will be left. It's reset, and Luke is bought enough time. This has given Albert the opportunity, but does he have what it takes? Eman with a jump in forward. That's a BMI back, but he actually pops him in the crowd in time. The BMI's right there, and he can't find it. Shogun going in the back line as now gets the red tree. Eman will fall to the hands of Fuel, and now it's up to the robots to run away, but Albert comes in again, pops in his Soul Sever, and Key gets Finn down.
What a fight. Both teams duking it out against each other. You can see the micro display of literally each of every member of the teams there. Albert trying to do what he can, but he cannot get close to the Lord Bit because of Eman with the Winter Crown plays there.
Doesn't involve Lord. Xiao won't be able to utilize it. This is a big contention point, brother man. It's the morale as well. EVOS, they've defended and they've outplayed a situation that looked unplayable, that looked outplayed. Oh, wait, hold on, Luke, whoa. Okay, he just takes a bit of damage. But yeah, Moreno, despite that death, still doing tons of damage.
By the way, BTR won the 50-50 in terms of the Lord spawning in the top lane. Now the long lane is theirs. Once again, we just want to remind you all that there is a Makito, so it's not really that equal, isn't it? Luke has been doing a pretty good job despite the KDA that showed on your screen right now. Just buying enough time for Albert to at least make something out of that, you know, bad start to a team fight for EVOS.
Yep.
And economy-wise, it's all pretty much equal right now. Only 300 gold in, which is pretty much nothing at this point.
The one thing that is still an advantage is Makito can clear in the side lane and Bigetron's far lane base turret. It's been very unfortunate for EVOS that the Lord has just kept on spawning top side of the map, but this has been an issue that they've been able to deal with, which is crazy. Like, EVOS have actually dealt with the waves at the bottom lane and reacted to the Lord dance, or the Lord holds rather, by Bigetron very, very well.
BTR gonna play with the team fight, man. In terms of a 5v5 team fight, I feel like this composition from BTR is at least easier to execute from EVOS.
It just takes one mistake though, and again, the thing about Erlan on the flicker is, yes, you can try to dive. If you get a crazy dive, that works. The thing is, if you get caught by the Golden Hour, there's no way you can purify out of a Throne of Ruin and a Mystic Projectile. Then,
Yeah.
that then will be combo with a Mystic Gush, then you're taking true damage to the face.
I mean, it's not even the Golden Hour, you know. Most of the time, it's Shogun being in his face. The Throne of Ruin can cover a lot of grounds, pretty much the whole court for BTR. And Flicker cannot get him away from immobilization. And there's 2 immobilization from BTR's side.
Wait a second. The Leomord shows in the bottom lane. Albert controls the neutral objective. The Gorge stays in the bottom lane to try and clear it, but Albert is holding the Lord.
Yeah.
All right, they're just gonna build a slow push, but look at Luke. This is so good. He's gonna try to clear it out. Finn walking up again, and Luke shows up one more time. They're gonna go for the reset.
Not just a strategical battle here, also mental battle. Eman!
With the ways into win the crown, chases them away. Now pops in his steed as well. Finn's gonna try to go in for the zone, but Luke is coming in as well, and that's gonna be a big mistake from the side of Bigetron. Luke has BTR clumped up. Finn with the golden hour over on the Lord. Moreno in the back line as well. They're gonna play the front to back as the Lord will be taken very low and down by Albert. It's a kill for Luke in trade for the neutral objective in the bottom lane. It seems like the turret's gonna go down, but will it? Oh, it barely survives.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but EVOS, they definitely will take that one any day of the week.
That's an evolved Lord, folks.
Eman though, that was, he pulled the trigger way too early, man.
I think that was kind of, you had to do something there, because the wave in the bottom lane was fully shoved, Chefin. It doesn't matter if there's a super minion wave. It would have been a free base turret, so he decided to try to go in, but they just had no damage to burst the Lord after.
Yeah, but right now EVOS got what they want. They got the Lord. EVOS or Luke is definitely a sacrificial pawn in that exchange earlier.
It's dangerous.
All that's left is to clear this one. Can they want? Do they want to do it right here?
Yeah, that's why. I guess they're thinking there's a advantage that they have in individuals, but they have to remember that there is a lot of damage reduction that comes with this evolved Lord.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, feels like a tight siege minigame in MLBB right now.
Luke's coming.
Already half HP. Luke already topped up and ready to go with the flicker as well. So gotta watch out all the backliners of BTR. The Lord, 1/3 of HP, so not much utilization here from EVOS.
Yep. It's because of the bottom lane. Look, those super minions are keeping the waves at bay. Beats are gonna pull into the bottom lane. EVO's gonna be looking for a play here, but they just cannot. Simply, they cannot. The Lord was already poked down too much before it got into the base.
Back to equal position. This is a stalemate once again.
Wow.
But this time around, EVOS finally won the 50-50.
Oh.
BTR has to be a bit more desperate, and looks like they want to go for the desperate play here.
Yep. The wave in the bottom lane has built up. But the thing is now, this is finally the position where EVOs want to be. The far lane is the one without a base turret advantage. If the Paquito could do what he was doing earlier, Sheffin, with a
Imagine.
super mini wave, imagine what he can do with a normal wave up top. Heck, not just a normal wave, there's a tier 2 that's still up and available.
Uh-huh. This is tough for BTR, man. And looks like they want to go for a more creative maneuver here. Nile will camp up top and maybe catch Luke off guard. But Luke, the man that he is...
Coach Do!
Oh, Coach Do!
I wonder who he's supporting.
Probably BTR.
Ex-BTR, by the way.
Uh-huh. What are your goats?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Stop that, Coach Do.
Rona, man.
We're such a hater right now.
No, I'm joking. Luke, though. Oh, wait. They're trying to collapse on Luke. I don't know about this decision. They find the frozen moment. Mystic Gush as well. Luke! He tries to revive. He gets away. Niles able to go in. Now the rest of the team tries to collapse on him, though. What did he braid out? Oh, my God. Finn's going to go. Oh, he flickers out view. Uh-oh. Gets caught by the golden hour. Both of them. Wait a second. Mystic projectile. That's a purify out. Amon trying to do more damage. He goes in all the way, but doesn't even get anything. But Key into the back lane. That's going to win a crown. Amon kites away Shogun. Make sure they escape quickly. What resources were burnt? Oh, a lot of flickers. That's 3 flickers for a purify and a flick.
Yeah, and the oohs and ahs, the claps of the crowd, seeing the macro displays of both teams.
That was well played by Luke. He got away.
I thought this is a MOBA game. It feels like it's a turn-based combat in the exchange earlier. Oh man.
Yep.
Now both teams. It's gonna reset again.
This is the thing though. Look at the Paquito. He's built the slow push.
That B can't?
Oh my God. Are those the boys? That's Eric Olim as well, sir.
Wait a minute.
The whole gang is here, bro.
Oh. A lot of controversy in a single camera shot.
That's true. Where's Robbie?
I don't know. He's somewhere in the dark.
Wait, and Man just showed top. Shogun's doing a good job.
He's rotating though.
Zoning, 20 seconds for the flicker on Moreno. They need to force a reset. Oh no, they're gonna go Key. Straight up. In the bush in the mid lane. He's getting the all in. And Man trying to go for the damage now. BMI back and Key falls! Great move by Airline, but now it's gonna be Few caught without. Whoa! Did he not?
Hold on. Oh. They're gonna spot him. There's no way they're not gonna spot him.
Finn opens up. Immortality already. 41 stacks on that Sky Piercer. Few's Immortality was cracked earlier up top, I believe, and that's why he just fell straight up with no Purify. What a call by Bigetron. In the 26th minute of the game, they secure a neutral objective. Erlan, this is risky, my brother.
Yeah, and this is the biggest window that BTR has in this late part of the game. Already 26 minutes for the first game of this series, man.
We knew it was going to be close.
It's going to be a 3-2 or a close match, but we are in for a treat as Eman secured that Winter Crown once again. Watch out for those plays.
Oh, they gotta hold on now. There's a big wave, and they've already used a couple of big resources. I'm guessing they're thinking they wanted to go for a fight beforehand. There were 2 members down.
I think the idea is to burn out some resources.
But if they didn't.
Yeah.
Luke.
Gotta try, man.
Luke in the mid lane. He's gonna try to cut. And he does. He actually baits out the Pan of Seed, and I think that's actually worth it. But now he's giving the Blazing Duet! And Moreno with a Mystic Gush! And Mon jumps away. Baits out the jump from Albert. The Blade Surge as well. Those resources have been burnt out. Now Few goes into Crimson Beacon. Luke's gonna be taking a lot of damage. Jumps into the back line, but now gets caught in the midst of it all as that's between his hands from the Flicker combo into the Winter Crown from Eman. He buys Immortality in time. That's a big wave in the bottom lane just for the Lord. But they're doing a good job clearing it out with no airline. They've survived, but now it's the rest of the team coming in, and Moreno gets a Mystic Gush! That slays 2, and it's game 1 to Bigetron.
Bigetron is winning. The fans are also winning with that display. What a game we have here in the first game of the series. BTR strikes first, 1-0 against EVOS.
My vote for regular season MVP, the Maestro Moreno. #1 in the MVP standings. And he shows his class here today again. Sublime positioning. Yes, there were some calls where he had to walk up. He walked straight into a Paquito. He walked straight into Albert. But he kept them there. And at the end of the day, those plays from the Maestro. My goodness gracious. It's in the Velodrome. It's up against EVOS. It should already be Bigetron going home.
Just
on paper.
beautiful.
If we're thinking pattern over here.
The Maestro put out the staccato, and it was beautifully played. Music to my ears, music to Cole Edwin. ears, especially after what happened in MPLMY.
And my goodness, was that Coach Panda behind with the rest of the coaching staff flying from Korea all the way here. That presence definitely has been felt by the players, but Sheffin, I still don't understand why Erlan went Flicker instead of Purify.
That's the thing. I think the idea is he underestimated the immobilization.
The stun
Yeah.
from the missing projectile,
Not
the
just
combo. The thing is the combo.
Even the single Marcel is enough to stop him for a single second, right? That's way more than enough for the whole team of BTR to collapse onto the Harris.
Yep.
And they are not short of damage, ladies and gentlemen. Too much damage, in fact.
This is the moment where Moreno tried to go in. A few mistakes here and there for Moreno. But I think it's safe to say he made up for it. Those Skypiercer stacks, he kept it almost all throughout the game, dying twice in this game. And yes, this moment, there was no immortality. I mistook it for Finn's immortality, who was on top of him. It was already burnt up top. And again, no Purify, only with a Flicker. It was on cooldown anyways, but you know what I mean.
And by the way, I think the second MVP is Finn.
Oh, yeah.
There's such a nuisance in the whole team. Right from the get-go, man.
He's like Marcel the player, only Marcel the hero.
Uh-huh. But we're gonna ask the panelists on what exactly happened in that game earlier. It's gonna be fun.
Thank you, casters. We'll try to break that down because after that game, the entire arena fell silent. The EVOS fans in the building will not be too happy with how this best of 5 has started, but it went all the way to the 27th minute of the game, one of the longer games that we've seen coming into the playoffs, and it's in the hands of BTR and EVOS. So, Arashi, first look at that game. What do you have to say about it?
Just FYI, man, on the panel
FYI.
desk, we were so tunneled on the fact that it was a Skypiercer gourd and how Bigetron were showing biblical levels of greed right there, trying to funnel some of those kills to Moreno. He was trying to solo kill a Paquito. He was trying to solo kill a Suyo. Like, dude, I don't know, man. I think I wasn't expecting Bigetron to win the early game. I wasn't expecting the game to even out in the mid game either. So safe to say that was a very unpredictable turn of events. Let's put it that way.
You know, I mean, sometimes being greedy pays the bills, and it showed here in the first game where you mentioned, you know, even we talked about the composition being, you know, where is this going, you know, with the Leomord, with the Gourd, with the Claude, and also with the Marcel. What are they going for? But then again, you know, they're just greedy in the drafts, they're greedy in the execution, they're greedy in the length of game time, by the way, and at least it got them game 1 for Bigetron. Now, this loss hurts EVOS, I feel like, because they drafted themselves a more stable draft, but they could not pull that off. So again, back to the drawing boards for EVOS, but again, what a fight here. Unfortunately for Erlan, I think Mirko called it as well, that the no Purify, you know, the risk that Erlan was taking this game did not deliver, did not pay off.
No, yeah, we're looking at the highlights as well from all the other moments, and it really didn't. I think it really paid dividend as to how things really unraveled afterwards. But all in all, we're seeing exactly the same shade, I would say, of both teams, right? A BTR with a draft that's kind of weird, like we really can't see the synergy behind it, but somehow they're able to get that win. And I think it goes back to the point of their individual mechanics. The fact that they're able to find that early game was because of their outplays, and one of which was by the MVP or the player of the game for game number 1, presented to you by the official gaming phone Infinix GT50 Pro, and that was Moreno. Sure thing, we did see a lot of moments where he made some greedy plays, like Arashi mentioned. He made those 1v1s, it really didn't work out for him. And those were moments that EVOS were able to capitalize over, but when Moreno performed, that's when EVOS are like, we can't find a loophole here, all we can do is look for mistakes and capitalize over it. Otherwise, it feels like it's just Moreno controlling the game.
This is one of those moments we were talking about right there. Costed him the shutdown and some of the stacks. But again, it really feels like for both teams, right? There's this this feeling that you get watching them that there's a lot more ego involved right here. They're both trying to go for crazy outplays without really thinking too much. They are still planning ahead by all means, but they're not thinking too much about the long-term repercussions. They want to get it done here. They want to beat the opposition right in front of their eyes right there. So you're saying both teams take some really, I would say, uncharacteristical risks. And to be doing so in the playoffs, I mean, for better or worse, it's impressive, but also surprising.
Definitely bold movements were made here in this game, and this was, I feel like this is where it really starts to crumble for the side of EVOS, right? They didn't get the opening they wanted, they lose 2 members, and after this it's just, you know, members of Bigetron penetrating the base of EVOS.
Because before this all unraveled and before things went really great for BTR, EVOS hit their power spike. And I like to say the power spike is the First Lord. Because I have to say, after watching them play throughout the entirety of the regular season, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, is the fact that EVOS are so notorious for their early game. And I mean this in the bad way.
Wow.
It feels like their early game is really not on par with the rest of the MPL ID teams. But as soon as the Lord hits, as soon as First Lord hits, that's when things kind of turn around. And I'm not sure why that happens, but it feels like that is still reflected in our first game. Because if we're looking at the drafts, they have a really strong mid trio. They have Suyo, they have
That's the thing.
Yushin, they have Khalid, and yet the expectation that we had for the early game just really didn't go to plan. So unfortunately though, for EVOS, it seems like the Lord dances did favor them for a while, but BTR really stepped up after, you know, the blunders that they made.
And again, we did talk about how in the late game, the macros for both teams, they both have that the options for those crafty plays, the weird flanks,
Yeah.
the big moments. And we saw that coming in from both, right?
Yeah.
I think for other teams, that curveball might be too much to deal with from EVOS, but Bigetron also like doing that themselves. Like how they were trying to trap that Paquito earlier. Now, they burned 3 flickers in exchange for an Immortal, if I recall correctly. But the fact that they're willing to try and make plays like that, it forces EVOS to always be on their toes. And I feel like the longer the game goes, the more the team that dares to make plays like that has a bit more of an advantage, because then you get into your opponent's heads.
Because of 50-50 though, right? It's
Yeah.
like, the risk is great if it works out. Like, you know, like GEEK in Game 3. And otherwise, sometimes it doesn't really do too well. But like, I get what you mean. It's entertaining. Peak
Sometimes-
entertainment.
At least for game 1, right? Definitely the Boulder team won that game, and it was Bigetron. But what's even bolder, if you can, is you can download the GoPay app to have a more enjoyable life,
Obviously.
easier life,
Enjoyable,
Convenience.
and easier life.
100%, especially for the EVOS fans, right? They lost game 1, you know, don't worry, because we do have something special for you. So, EVOS fans, assemble on the GoPay app because you can sign up for an exclusive EVOS fans membership with tons of rewards. You know, there's GoPay coins, we have the vouchers, EVOS merch as well as signed jerseys. And it's super easy. I think Gani wants to break it down for you. Okay, he's gonna open it up for you.
Okay, this phone is.
Okay, is busy. The phone is busy. The phone is busy. So we have the
I think
GoPay app here
Arashi,
with me.
You're more experienced than I am.
Honestly, can you guys see it?
Yeah,
I honestly
there you
don't know
go.
where it
You
is.
go to the GoPay app,
Okay.
so you click See All Features. There'll be a See All Features option.
Okay. Okay. See all features. Got it.
Look for fams.gg.
And then we write fam. Fam. Oh, fam's GG. There you go.
There you go.
It's up top. Fam GG. We press it.
Hey!
That is so cool.
Boom. Look at that.
That is super cool. You can watch party with EVOS.
You get updates as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a hub for
real?
all your EVOS fans' needs.
And there's a daily
Wow.
quiz streak that you guys can actually
I love
volunteer in.
streaks.
Interesting.
That's so cool. I want to be EVOS fans now. When's TLID's turn? When's the Cavalry's turn?
Don't know. Maybe in the
Hopefully
next
soon.
couple of days. Hey.
Hopefully. So if you guys are interested, don't forget to screenshot the
Yes.
GG Fams, all right, and let us know because you guys get a chance to win hundreds of MLBB diamonds. And while you're on your phone, you have GoPay downloaded. You got the EVOS Fams GG signed up as well. Go ahead and use your Infinix to open YouTube and to support the MLBB Teamnas or the national team
Our
for the
national
Asian
team.
Games.
It's alter ego. You know, again,
Yes, sir.
Professor X, Coach Zephyr is leading the pack, so finger crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Hey, we hope for the best for them, man, because come on, right? The expectations are so high for Alter Ego right now.
It really is. I think it was high ever since they placed top 2 in M7. Coming into the regular season, everybody's like, yeah, Alter Ego at least top 3, top 2, but it didn't work out. Hopefully they have time now to do better in the Asian Games qualifier because, man, at least they have the best drip. All right, at least they have the best drip. And you guys can actually see the drip and pre-order it yourself because
Hey!
we are in collaboration. Yes, that's it. We are in collaboration
this
with
jacket.
Ekcraft.
You can open it. You can wear it, Arashi. You know, since it's very cold here in the venue,
We're chilling. We're chilling.
You can definitely, you know.
Check it out, though.
Oh my God! Look at the
That's
jacket.
so cool.
You think that's great? Look at the back.
Oh man, it's a fusion of creative culture, esports, and competitive spirit that comes together in one exclusive piece. And this NASCAR-style jacket, a collaboration between Ekcraft, Todak, and MPL, is designed to represent a generation that is bold,
Yes.
competitive, and always moving forward.
What's the characters on the sleeve?
Okay,
Oh, that's so
what's your
cute.
favorite detail on this jacket, Eterna?
I like the zipper in front.
Okay, what about you, Arashi?
The zipper with the "We own this."
Yeah,
Okay.
That?
it's a cute.
I
we
like
we
the
don't
back.
usually get zippers that big.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like big things, big zippers.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Easy to access.
Exactly. It's pretty clean, pretty clean,
Right.
pretty clean.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
What's up?
Onyx, their jersey has written Infinix
Okay.
on their jersey.
Okay. Okay.
And he can be the next sensational MLBB ambassador as well. Vote.
Sensational.
You can vote actually to become and decide who is going to be the next seasonal MLBB ambassador. Visit the booth at the King Phoenix Festival to vote for your favorite player to become the next seasonal.
So we pick the
MLBB.
player that becomes the ambassador. That's
guess
new.
so.
That's kind of cool.
Because I think at some point it was just No Limit, and then Kyrie.
Maybe it might be you, Arashi.
Maybe you next.
I thought player wasn't the
Just
description
No
thing,
Limit's no longer a player.
but he was.
He was.
That's
I
true.
was never a player. Like, what is it? What are you trying to say?
But you were a caster.
You're a player in the other sense.
Oh!
Interesting statement there. It's almost as interesting as that new hero Hirara, man.
It is. It is. Miracle loves it.
I mean, how could you not?
It's a good design.
It's a crazy design, man. A splash of scarlet in the scarlet shadow,
Oh,
apparently, as she walks to the path to hell as a geisha.
geisha.
As a geisha.
As a geisha.
Yes, sir.
That is crazy
That's
lore.
the concept.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Available on the 17th of this month, I believe.
January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah.
Yeah, 17th of June. Stay tuned, guys. The design is already leaked. So,
Leaked?
you know, there's some
Released?
leaks. The design.
So they did not mean to show it to us like a leak.
Maybe. I mean, who knows?
I thought they published it.
Oh, I don't. Well, they'll officially publish it next week. So
All right.
stay tuned.
I mean, Mirko is already like waiting for it, so you guys can too.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Exactly. It's all good.
It is
It's
all good.
It's all good. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we come closer to
Whoa.
game number 2, we have a very, very, very interesting bracket. And this was the bracket from MPL ID Season 13. And this was also in the Velodrome. So same venue. And this was also the odd season EVOS. So for some reason, EVOS has like a passive during odd seasons where they perform out of their mind. And that's what happened in Season 13, right? They were number 9 in the regular season. Somehow made it to playoffs. And during the playoffs, it was like a complete Cinderella run. They made it
Yeah.
top 2
Top 2.
at the very end, and that was season 13. So I think a lot of people are wondering, we're still thinking
Who won
about
that
that
season again?
moment. Onic, yeah?
Oh,
Onic, yeah.
of course.
Because Velodrome. The conquerors of
Yeah.
Velodrome are consistent.
Yeah. But
So
that's
far.
not the focus right now, Goni.
Yeah, I
The
was-
focus is, will EVOS be able to find that same Cinderella story success? Obviously, they weren't number 9. They still, I think they were